Welcome to the latest disaster movie, Tornado in 2024. Here is the vast beauty of the Central Plain, where the arc of the wind sets off layers of waves on the field. In the distance, black clouds loom ominously, but Kettler, standing amidst it all, shows an excited smile. As a top student majoring in meteorology, he keenly senses that a medium to large tornado is brewing within those clouds. Kate is equally thrilled because she and her companions share another identity. They are wind chasers. The central United States, located at the junction of continental and oceanic climates, has no mountains on its Great Plains, making it a perfect breeding ground for tornadoes. The north-south mountain ranges on the east and west coasts create natural air corridors. With various factors combined, 75% of the world's tornadoes occur in the United States, attracting numerous tornado enthusiasts. These thrill seekers chase and even challenge tornadoes, earning them the name wind chasers. Kate and her boyfriend Devo have been childhood sweethearts, bound by their shared love of tornadoes. This time, they set out with classmates from the same major, driving a small car equipped with a detector, eager to get close and observe the formation and development of the tornado. Their goal, to try to slow down or even stop the tornado's rotation by increasing its water content. Teammate Harvey stays back, monitoring the tornado's dynamics from a safe distance with his computer, while the others ride close to the storm's eye to release the prepared compound. But the situation soon spirals out of control. The tornado grows more violent than expected. The level of destruction far exceeds their predictions. Their probe is swept thousands of meters into the air, along with the compounds, which fail to slow the wind speed. Instead of shrinking, the tornado expands, its speed increasing, making it impossible to drive the car away. Devo slows down the throttle, leading his companions in a desperate attempt to escape. But the tornado closes in, the car's wheels losing grip on the ground. Forced to abandon the car, they flee on foot. Devo and Kate find shelter under a building, but their friends are swallowed by the storm. Devo struggles to stay upright, trying to protect Kate, but the fierce air currents mixed with grass, trees, sand, and stones overwhelm him like a flood. 7 years later, Kate has become a staff member at the Bureau of Meteorology. Despite the passage of time, the memory of that disaster still haunts her. Harvey, after enlisting in the Army and later joining a commercial organization, continues to study tornado disaster management. He seeks out Kate with a new proposition: to become wind chasers once more. This time, he wants to use the military's phased radar to scan the tornado in 3D, aiming to create the most accurate digital model of a tornado to date. Initially, Kate, suffering from PTSD, refuses Harvey's offer, but later at home, memories of Dev's tragic death flood her mind. Overcome by the past, she finally agrees to Harvey's request. This time, they are more prepared than ever. Han recruits more helpers, but they encounter another group at the camp. These people are dressed in wild costumes, punk-style Western cowboys. Their leader, Taylor, is a YouTube sensation with millions of fans. Known in the community as the Tornado Beast Trainer, some call him the Wind Rider or the Bee Herder. Taylor chases tornadoes not just for the thrill, but also to make money from his videos. However, he lacks Kate's professional expertise. While Kate carefully studies the distant clouds, noticing thunderstorms forming on the east and west, Taylor is eager for action. He doesn't realize that a tornado requires specific conditions to form, a supercell, created by spinning and wind shear. Kate, observing the wind patterns, predicts the tornado's direction in advance. Taylor, who initially wanted to taunt her, is taken aback by her knowledge. Ignoring Taylor and Harvey, Kate sets off with the convoy early. The convoy consists of 4 vehicles, one for logistics and 3 for deploying radars. Each radar is equipped with signal transmission boards, and they need to be deployed in 3 different directions to scan the tornado in 3D. Unexpectedly, Taylor's high-powered modified car suddenly appears, catching Kate and Harvey off guard. As a wild wind chaser, Taylor doesn't want to lose to a nerd like Kate. He floors the accelerator, racing towards the tornado. The storm is intense, with winds powerful enough to topple structures. The stronger the winds, the harder it becomes to drive. Kate, haunted by the disaster from 7 years ago, begins to worry about their safety. The other 2 vehicles successfully deploy their radars, but Kate hesitates, missing the critical moment. Harvey is disappointed as the operation fails. They had to retreat in the opposite direction, narrowly missing the turning tornado. Kate apologizes to Harvey for the mishap. Meanwhile, Taylor and his team, who had been watching, take the opportunity to taunt Kate as they pass by. They manage to cross the tornado, even firing a signal flare that embellishes the cyclone with extraordinary grandeur, capturing the spectacular moment on camera. Back at the camp, Harvey tries to invite Kate to a party, but she declines, citing exhaustion. She's clearly depressed by the day's failure. However, everyone knows that failures are part of the chase, and there will be more tornadoes to track. Taylor, feeling triumphant, tries to show off in front of Kate again. To his surprise, Kate responds to his challenge, showing a determined expression, refusing to admit defeat. Taylor becomes even more intrigued by Kate, sensing a storm brewing in his own heart. Determined to outdo Kate, Taylor orders his partners to release their drones early to scout the path. The two groups set out once more, racing to chase the next tornado, now treating each other as competitors. This time, they face a situation similar to the last, tornadoes forming on both the left and right sides, appearing like two dragons dancing. However, the tornadoes are moving in different directions and have varying durations. Kate believes the tornado on the left has more potential and orders the convoy to turn left. Taylor, confident in his judgment, insists on pursuing the tornado on the right, thinking it's the bigger threat. Taylor's confidence stems from his modified car, which has an auger under the chassis that can drill into the ground, securing the car against the wind. As they approach the tornado, ready to capture nature's spectacle, the storm suddenly dissipates, leaving Taylor and his team stunned. Kate's prediction, it turns out, was correct. The camera shifts back to Kate's side, showing her and Harvey on the right path, successfully tracking the tornado. However, this tornado was too violent, its winds devastating, suddenly showing the potential to destroy everything in its path. The three radars that had been deployed were working as planned, but one was directly blown away by the wind. Miraculously, it continued to function, transmitting data as it was carried along by the storm. Kate and Harvey stared at the display, watching in horror as the tornado swept towards a nearby town. By the time they arrived, it was too late. The streets were completely destroyed, with collapsed houses and buildings everywhere. Nearly 100 households were left homeless. Seeing the devastation, Taylor accused Kate angrily. "Aren't you supposed to be a meteorologist? If you can predict a tornado's path, why didn't you try to save the residents?" Kate, equally stubborn, shot back, "You're just an internet celebrity who only cares about playing and earning traffic. How dare you stand on the moral high ground and accuse me?" The two parted ways, their disagreement unresolved. That evening, Taylor realized he had gone too far and sought out Kate to make amends. He invited her to watch an open-air bullfight, during which he shared the story of how he got involved with tornado chasing. Slowly, the tension between them eased. But just as things began to calm, Kate noticed something off about the airflow around them. It was night, and they couldn't see the clouds, but she could sense that a new tornado was forming nearby. Suddenly, the wind picked up, tearing the camp apart. Spectators fled in all directions as the strong winds wreaked havoc. Taylor, Kate, and their friends ran for their lives as the streetlights swayed and crashed down. Countless innocent people were injured or worse. It was in this moment that Kate realized the true danger of tornadoes. It wasn't just the wind itself, but the debris, sand, gravel, buildings, and vehicles, hurled through the air with deadly force. When the tornado finally passed, the ground was left in ruins. Another town had been destroyed. Furious, Kate confronted Harvey, accusing him of failing to warn the town's residents in time. But Harvey was constrained by the demands of his sponsors, the commercial institutions funding the research. They parted ways after this devastating incident, each pursuing their own path. Kate returned to her hometown farm, the place where she was born and raised. It was here that she had spent her happiest years with Devo, her childhood sweetheart, as they studied tornadoes together. Overwhelmed by grief, Kate didn't expect Taylor to visit her, but he did. Despite his reckless nature, Taylor was, at heart, a good person, competitive but caring. He discovered that Kate had been researching ways to stop tornadoes since childhood. Agreeing with her theory, Taylor suggested they test it on a smaller tornado. Together, they returned to the field, reigniting their passion for storm chasing. This time, their experiment was a success. Taylor drove into the eye of a small tornado, releasing a compound with silver iodide as the main ingredient. To their astonishment, it worked, successfully disrupting the tornado's formation. Silver iodide, commonly used in cloud seeding for artificial rainfall, had proven effective in tornado disaster prevention. With this success, Kate regained her confidence and became a wind chaser once more. But this time, she wasn't just chasing the wind, she was hunting tornadoes, a wind hunter. Soon, Kate and Taylor spotted a new large tornado and quickly approached it, only to realize something was terribly wrong. This tornado had swept through a refinery, causing an explosion that turned it into a destructive fire tornado. The method Kate had developed wouldn't work against a tornado mixed with flames. Forced to retreat, they focused on ensuring everyone's safety. Despite their best efforts, the tornado continued its destructive path towards the town. Kate and Taylor raced to warn the disaster relief team, urging them to evacuate the townspeople. But the tornado was too fast, demolishing everything in its path: goods, buildings, even an out of control tram. The situation was dire, with many casualties, and even Taylor was nearly killed by flying debris. Just when it seemed all hope was lost, Harvey's scientific research team arrived in town to help. With their assistance, Taylor survived. As the super large tornado approached, Kate made a bold decision. She drove her pickup truck, dragging the compound behind her directly into the tornado. According to her theory, this was the moment to act. Facing the blinding wind, sand, and stones, Kate, undaunted by the threat of death, gave it her all and disappeared into the black clouds. Meanwhile, Taylor and Harvey continued rescuing as many people as they could, though the casualties continued to rise. Just as they thought they might not survive, a sudden, violent wind came, the sign that Kate's plan had worked. The super large tornado, which had threatened to destroy everything, was defeated. Kate had become a hero in everyone's eyes. In the aftermath, Harvey, inspired by Kate, decided to change the direction of his research, fully committing to tornado disaster prevention. Taylor, despite his usual bravado, was moved as well. He drove his modified car to the airport, planted the auger into the ground, and ran into the terminal without looking back. Love was in the air, and Taylor wasn't about to give up easily. After all, a wind chaser should also be a lover chaser. As the airport issued an emergency announcement, delaying all flights due to the tornado's impact, Kate and Taylor exchanged a knowing look. They understood each other's intentions. A new challenge awaited them, and the footsteps of the wind chaser would not stop here. And so, the story ends. This film is a remake of the classic disaster movie Tornado from 1996. I thought it would be just reheated leftovers, but it turns out this dish is quite satisfying. The visual effects are stunning, the plot is tight, and there are four intense scenes of facing the twisters from start to finish.